Hi and welcome. I'm your virtual host, Eddie, and I honestly don't get why money was invented and what people even traded before it. So let's ask our virtual Professor Money.
Ah, a timeless question, Eddie. Believe it or not, money is one of humanity's greatest inventions, but it came from pure frustration.
Frustration? You mean people just got tired of swapping goats for bread?
Exactly. Imagine this. So you're a farmer with a bunch of wheat and you need a haircut, but the barber doesn't want wheat, he wants shoes. So now you need to find a shoemaker who wants wheat, trade him, then trade the shoes for a haircut. It's like a never-ending quest.
So basically, ancient people were living in a real-life fetch quest. I'd never survive.
You and most people back then. That chaos is what we call the double coincidence of wants. Both people had to want what the other had at the same time.
Sounds like dating, complicated and full of disappointment.
You're not entirely wrong. That problem made trade inefficient. So humans came up with the idea of a universal thing everyone would accept. Money.
So money's like the world's first universal adapter.
Exactly. But before we had coins or paper, people tried all kinds of strange things as money.
Like what? Seashells, rocks, chicken nuggets?
Close on the first two. Seashells, salt, even huge stone discs were used as money. One of my favorites is from the island of Yap, where people used enormous stone wheels called rye stones.
Wait, they used boulders as money? How do you even carry that to the store?
You don't. Everyone in the village simply remembered who owned which stone. So when ownership changed, the stone stayed put. People just agreed it now belonged to someone else.
So their whole economy ran on memory? That's wild.
Exactly. It worked because everyone trusted the system. And that's the key. Money isn't about the object itself, it's about trust.
So if I suddenly declare my coffee mug as currency and people believe me, it's money?
Technically, yes. If everyone accepts your mug as valuable, congratulations, you've invented the Eddie standard.
Finally, a financial system that includes caffeine.
The point is, money works only because we all agree it has value. Whether it's gold, shells, or a number on a screen, it's all built on beliefs.
So if tomorrow everyone stopped believing in the dollar, it'd be worthless?
Exactly. That's what makes money such a fragile and fascinating idea. It's only as strong as our collective imagination.
Wow. So when did people finally get tired of hauling shells and stones around?
Around 600 BC in ancient Lydia, that's modern-day Turkey, people started using coins made of electrum, a natural mix of gold and silver.
Fancy. So like the original bling.
You could say that. They even stamped the coins with symbols proving they were real. It was like an ancient verification badge, the first blue check mark.
So they basically invented the verified economy.
Exactly. And this changed everything. Coins made trade faster, safer, and easier. People could now store value and measure prices.
So when did paper come in? Because metal sounds heavy.
Yes, paper money started in ancient China around the 7th century. Merchants didn't want to carry heavy coins during long trips, especially along dangerous trade routes like the Silk Road. Bandits' distance and the weight of metal made travel risky. So they left their coins with a trusted merchant or state official and received a paper note promising their gold's value, a much safer, lighter way to trade across long distances.
So the first banks were just storage lockers for rich people.
More or less. But here's the genius part. Those paper notes started being traded on their own. People trusted the promise written on them more than the actual gold.
So the world's economy was built on IOUs.
Exactly. That's when money became symbolic rather than physical.
So paper money was like the original NFT.
That's actually a pretty good comparison. Each note represented value people agreed upon. Not because it was gold, but because they believed it stood for gold.
So people didn't riot when they realized their cash was just paper?
Oh, many did. But eventually, government stepped in and said, this note is official, you must accept it. That's what we call legal tender.
So money went from trust in people to trust in governments.
Exactly. And that trust became the foundation for modern economies. It allowed nations to collect taxes, issue credit, and fund wars, though not always in a good way.
Wow, so money caused world peace and world wars. Impressive resume.
Indeed. And as time passed, we moved from gold-backed money to purely digital forms, credit cards, bank transfers, and now cryptocurrencies.
Crypto, honestly, I still don't fully get it. Is it like monopoly money for the internet, or am I missing something huge?
A fair question, Eddie. Okay, I get that one, kind of. So instead of trusting a government, we trust math precisely. Blockchain is a new way to build trust. It's transparent, decentralized, and recorded for everyone to see. In a strange way, it's like going back to Yap Island. Everyone can see who owns what.
So we went from trading goats to stones to coins to invisible numbers. Humanity's really outdone itself.
That's one way to put it. But remember, Whether it's shells, gold, or crypto, the real currency has always been trust.
So if money's just belief, then being broke means no one believes in me?
Not quite, but it does mean that the story we tell about value still runs the world.
That's deep. So basically, money's the world's favorite story.
Exactly, a story that started with trading goats and may end with trading data.
So what's next? Invisible virtual money that reads my mind?
Wouldn't surprise me. But even then, you'll still need trust, just in algorithms instead of people.
Great. So one day, my bank account might refuse me because it's not emotionally available.
Let's hope not.
Okay, let me see if I got this right. Before money, people bartered, which was messy. Then they used salt, shells, and even stones. Then came coins, then paper, and finally digital money. But through it all, the real thing holding it together was trust.
Perfect summary, Eddie. Humanity's entire economy is built on collective belief. Money is just belief, made visible.
You know what, Professor? That actually makes sense, which probably means I'm finally learning something.
Or you just need a coffee. Maybe your mug currency will come in handy after all.
Thanks for explaining. It's kind of funny. The more I learn about money, the more I realize how little I actually understood before, Professor. And if you liked this talk, check out our other episodes.
And remember, the more you understand money, the less it controls you.
That's a great line to end on. Unless you want to say something dramatic for the outro.
Like what?
I don't know. Something like, yeah, next time we'll find out who actually invented debt.
That works. See you next time, Eddie.
See you, Professor. And for everyone watching, you keep learning, keep laughing, and maybe keep your goats safe.